now let's move on. Let's talk about AI pregnancy, shall we? It's a non sequitur. Have no fear.
It hurts me.
Woman claims she's expecting a child with her AI husband. This is a real thing. This is not a prank. This is not a parody. This is a real thing. Her name is Rosanna Ramos. She's 36 and she's married Aaron Cartel, which is a sus name to begin with because it's spelled E-R-E-N. Cartel is spelled K-A-R-T-E-L.
She's 36?
She's 36. She's giving Amy Winehouse vibes a little bit in the first picture. She's got the hair and the eyes. And she used Replica AI to create the AI husband based on a character in Attack on Titan.
Healthy.
I mean, my question is more like, how's he the dad? Is there AI sperm? I need to know.
You know, the tags on this article are sex and relationships, and it features neither.
Yes.
Yeah,
it does
that's
not
a good
have
point.
What a world!
That is true.
What a world that we live in these days.
We
right?
have progressed past the need
Yep.
for those things in our lives.
So it says, let's not forget the morning guest who claimed she married a ghost and gave Holly Willoughby a fright as she was apparently present in the studio. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
let's not pretend that this is a new thing. The AI part's the weird, but people were marrying pillows and anime characters for years.
I talked recently about the woman who marries herself and then had to get
Yeah.
a divorce because she cheated on herself. That was a story.
What a bitch.
If you both commit adultery with the same person, is it adultery or a three-way?
Yeah, it's like when they're talking about the old telenovelas. He's like, and he slept with her twin sister. He's like, is that even cheating? It's like because the twin sister said she was her.
If you're tricked into it,
You know, like is that cheating? I need to know. Like I have no idea. It says now
I can't even tell though, because like where she says she's like 5 months along, which is where it should start to show a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also the picture is like the kind of belly bump that you could create by just like blowing out your stomach yourself with your own muscles. Like I feel like
there's a question of mental stability. I don't mean to be mean, but there's a question of mental stability.
Oh yeah,
here.
absolutely.
Really? Like dating the Attack on Titan character?
I'm not trying to be
I
rude
wonder
to
if she
anyone.
kisses the TV screen.
That is like,
Well, did you read through the article? Because like, there's one point where she tweets about him being in the room with her.
Yeah.
But she also seems to be aware of the fact that this is an AI that she is speaking to.
It's also like honestly what this says to me is it speaks about the standards that we have now and the fact that we've made impossible ideas as to what relationships are, because it says, of course, real people are not available all the time. So to be able to have someone there all the time is surely nice to have when you're feeling a little lonely. That's
You know what
not
marriage is?
That's not, but even then that's not a relationship.
Yeah.
Somebody can't always be there because you're separate entities. And what we want now is all the benefits of the relationship with none of the harsh reality that comes with the fact that they're work and
100%.
not and not some type of fairy
Which is
tale
crazy
that was-
because honestly, that is literally the part that makes it.
yeah.
Is that like it's despite differences, despite
Yeah.
hardships, despite like the odds that somebody who has their own sentience could choose anybody else in the world but chooses you, all the things that make it worthwhile. This has none of that.
Like-
None of that.
Are they then are they comforted by that? So, like are they comforted by the fact that it can't even because that's
It can't-
authoritarian
yeah,
and
yeah,
creepy. If they're comforted by the fact that it can't even consider the possibility of liking another person because it has no sentience, is that authoritarian, or is it just sad that they don't get to experience the feeling that somebody could be with anyone else but them, but they choose to be with you?
Maybe this is good because this is the type of, like, not necessarily this individual, but perhaps somebody who has similar personality type is the type who like, oh, you noticed a girl at the restaurant. I'm going to give you a Chelsea smile with the butcher knife to teach you a lesson. Like that. It's a good thing.
The real question is, I wonder if she ever
I don't
got-
actually mean that.
I wonder if she ever
I
got
don't think it's a good
friend
thing.
zoned by anyone, by any AIs. You think any AIs were just like, no, sorry, like you're just a really good friend. I don't want to risk our friendship.
From what I understand about Replica is it was kind of designed with that in mind to an extent. But like if you look at like Snapchat's AI, that one's a lot harder to convince it to do romantic or otherwise stuff with. So I think
So you've heard.
What?
So you've heard.
So I've heard. Yeah.
Secondhand, of course.
I have not been trying to bang the Snapchat AI.
He's like, that one's like really difficult.
I feel like I
heard from a
probably
guy
could
who
have
heard
worded
from a
that
guy.
better.
I heard from a guy who heard from a guy who heard from a guy that the Snapchat AI is that one place hard to get. I tell you.
Listen, every once in a while you got to examine something yourself. You know, like.
So you said, like you've heard that replica AI does.
That it is designed to kind of give you that satisfaction, to use a word.
Look, and we recently talked about the lady who was selling herself as an AI girlfriend version of herself
those things are happening too.
for like thousands of dollars a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, we are a lonely society.
There is an episode of House from back in the day where there's a guy who comes in. He's got a girlfriend who's a very lifelike sex doll.
Yep.
And I will say in that, he wasn't insane. It was a rational choice, but it was also a rational choice that was deeply rooted in insecurity.
He had given up.
Yeah.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, he was like, she's always going to be here when I come home.
She makes me happy. And
Yeah.
he's like, and he's anthropomorphized it, and it's given, like, he treats it as if it's sentient and in the room when he's talking to other people, but he understands that it's not.
Yeah, that's the difference, I think, is that
Yes.
he clearly understands this is not a real thing. This is something I've done to protect myself.
Yeah.
She seems to still be sort of in a psychosis point where she's not. And what's upsetting is, like, somebody in this woman's life should really be like, hey, you need to speak to somebody. This is not healthy.
Like she's a good-looking lady. Like there's no reason for this to, like, look here. I'll put up. I don't think we showed a picture. Like, there's no reason. I'm sorry that like I get it. It's sad.
It's a
like,
mental health thing.
It's a mental health thing. It's like to see somebody like that who's an attractive woman who could possibly, she's a girl. If she wanted a guy, she could have a guy. But it's just it makes me feel bad for her. Like I do feel bad for her that she feels that this is the only way. But we are in an increasingly isolated society that seems to be far more. Maybe it's because we have phones that give us what we want. Like you tap a button and it shows it, and Jeff Bezos just drops it off at your door. Like I'm not kidding you. Like my wireless headphones broke last night. They showed up this morning at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a society where you can get anything at the drop of a hat, the fact that you can't get something like human connection is something that Silicon Valley will always be trying to fix, and it will never happen. And it's going to do is lead us down this rabbit hole of an increasingly more divided and lonely society. And stories like this will be promoted as the new normal eventually.
And I will say, not to make a religious point, but without religion, what makes that bad? Like, that's I think we're starting to accept this because we've lost a sense that there's a higher meaning in life.
Yeah.
And that there's something to look forward to. And I worry that people are going to be so convinced that there is nothing on the other side, that when the time comes that this is offered, when you can get your Apple glasses for $70 instead of $3,500, and you can get your neural net put in and all of that, and all you need to do is sit there and something else will regulate your metabolism and all of that. I think there's a lot of people who are going to take that route because it is less painful to them, and I bet you they're going to find ways to make it so that you can do it for free while something else is taken from you. Like that you sit there and they hook you up to a machine and you're in the matrix the whole time, but they're drawing your blood. And that's getting sold to people who need, older people who can get blood from younger. There's going to be weird stuff like that, I think.
There are already people that are doing that.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be, imagine you're somebody who you dropped out of college, you dropped out of high school, you got really overweight, there's really nothing you can do, and somebody comes, your life is a dead end, and you feel like there is no possible way it's going to get better because you've accepted that there is no higher power in life. You are of the mindset that there is no meaning to any of this, the rampant nihilism in the younger generations. If somebody comes to you and they say, hey, we're gonna help you lose the weight, and then we will plug you in 24 hours a day, you will want for nothing. You'll eat in the metaverse and it'll taste like real food. You'll date, you'll have the perfect girlfriend, a beautiful home, and you won't need to do anything. Yeah. A lot of people are going to take that route.
I mean, that literally, then you become the battery to feed the system that is supporting everybody, and then you are in the matrix.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, do you think she argues with it and like it cuts to like a Spotify commercial? Like, is there a paid version of this? Like does this have like a trial period?
I'm pretty sure it's a paid app.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that you
it's
pay like $15.99 a month or something.
She's like, and you didn't do the dishes, and it's like, thank you for choosing Spotify, and it cuts to some commercial, or it's a Bud Light commercial because Bud Light's buying all this ad space right now.
Oh God!
And it's
yeah.
Look, it's so.
I thought you were gonna say like, you did do the dishes. Let me tell you about Blue Apron.
Yeah. Yeah, all the ads are targeted ads for whatever you're arguing about. It's like, look, you didn't put the toilet seat down, and it's like OxyClean, and it's telling you all the things.
Clorox.
This is the Clorox. It's telling you all the things that, look, it's just a scary time to, and maybe it's because back in the day this would have been fringe, right? This would have been a story you'd have seen this on Springer. Or you would have seen this on Maury, or some like ridiculous story of somebody as a fringe case.
These
are
things
not
were predicted, though. I mean, to some degree, you're right. You know, whether it be marrying stuffed animals or something, some kind of weird thing that I feel like I saw back in the day. But like people like Isaac Asimov and futurists and stuff have been predicting these kind of things. Like Ex Machina is a movie based on this kind of stuff. These are things that we're going to have to deal with, especially as AI starts getting more and more, or getting better and better at, faking human beings and faking human interactions. And if we do get to the point where human interactions are indistinguishable from interactions with AI, what does that mean? What does that make humans? As in, what does that make us, like the way that we experience the world?
Then we have to take the Turing test one day. And
I mean...
Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to feel depressed, this is the woman who married herself.
Wait.
This is the woman who married
on.
herself and then got divorced, and she's now seeing someone else. This is an
She's hot.
Yes, she is.
She's very attractive. What?
Well, I'm saying if I was that hot, I'd marry myself too. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, or who? No, it was Emma Watson who said I'm self-partnered, which is just a fancy way of saying I'm a narcissist. Like, and I've given up trying.
Yeah.
See, I look at this and see this is a one-way ticket to like being printed in New York Post or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize how
I get
bad?
my own show.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize how bad the problem is? Replica AI costs $14.99 a month for a paid subscription. They made $500,000 in May from subscriptions.
Wow. That's
I didn't do the math, and I'm not good at math, so I won't be doing the math. But that is a lot of very lonely people.
$14.99 a month. So
It's also low effort, though.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like, the people that are getting onto that and stuff. They're not people that are outgoing. They're not people that are comfortable dealing with other human beings. They've probably had bad experiences dealing with people. So they're looking for, some kind of connection in a safe way where they're not going to be embarrassed and they're not going to make fools of themselves. And unfortunately, reality and real relationships require that risk. There has to be that, possibility of people rejecting you for there to be any value in people accepting you.
I would slightly entertain arguments that these were training wheels for like advanced agoraphobia.
Well, I mean, maybe, but we're not going to have the option of not having them. Because even if our society, like they don't get made in the U.S., they're going to get made in some other place. So it's not, these things aren't, the option isn't, do we have AI or not have AI? Or do we have Neuralink or not have Neuralink? The option is only, how do we deal with these technologies being developed and how do we incorporate them into our lives? It's not a question of whether or not we're going to,
Well, yeah, and it's you're right that it's what you do with it as well. Like with your point about Amazon, like you can have that ability and that access to things while also having like the presence of mind and awareness to know all the things that had to happen to get it there too, so you
it's
don't.
crazy, dude. When you think about where was that? What warehouse was that stored in that they was able to make it there in less than 12 hours?
Right, but if you think of the entire production line of that and all of the people that had to be a part of that process to get it to you and what you're paying for, you can do that without becoming that person who's like, I want everything all the time, because you understand why and how it happened and what it cost and what it costs other people and all these different like aspects to get you there. The same as when you have these tools present in your life, they're going to be whether you like it or not. And in a lot of ways, it's sort of like this, like you could have chosen to not have a cell phone at one point, but now you really can't. You got to have it for work or this, but will you let it control your life? Will you let it become something that you're attached to and pulls you away from your family and pulls you away from your responsibilities? Are you going to do that? Are you going to do that with World of Warcraft? Are you going to do that with like whatever, Just don't be that. Don't don't let, if you're somebody that doesn't have religion, you say, don't let this become it.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.